Hello everyone. Welcome to the one shot video of resource mobilization. This is the final revision for the unit 6 resource mobilization. See, otherwise unit 5 and unit 6 have your weightage of 20 marks in board exams, but it's for unit 5 and unit 6. They both have a weightage of 20 marks. So it's CBSE's wish whether they want to give this chapter for 15 marks or 5 marks or for 10 marks. So, but this chapter is very important. You can expect one 5-mark question from this topic. There are 5-marker questions, and one 5-marker will definitely be from this chapter. This is resource mobilization. Let's understand this chapter now. In case of resource mobilization, see, this chapter you have started in your class 11 also under the same heading of resource mobilization. There you talked about financial resources, physical resources, material resources, human resources. But in class 12, this unit of resource mobilization is concerned with only one resource, and that resource is finance. So in this whole unit, we are going to talk about finance, what is finance, how to arrange it, what are the sources to raise it. Fine. So let's start with the topic now. First of all, what is the meaning of finance? You have to learn this definition only. Finance refers to the funds or money or resources needed by individuals, business houses and the government. The money which is needed by individual, business houses or government is called finance. Now here comes why a business needs finance. For these points, the question is why a business need finance. Why does a business need finance? Or if same question can be in the form of demand for sources of finance. If you get these two questions, it means it is asking you the same answer, that why a business need finance or what are the sources for demand of finance. So the sources of demand of finance are, the first source is that business need money to promote the business. First of all, business need money to promote or establish the business, to start the business. Fine. After that, after starting the business, an entrepreneur needs money to buy the fixed assets. That's acquire the fixed assets. There are two types of assets, fixed assets and current assets. The assets which are used in the business for long period of time are called fixed assets. Then market investigation. Entrepreneur needs money to do market investigation before actually launching the product. Entrepreneur need to see whether his product will be acceptable in the market or not. For that, he needs to conduct the market investigation. For that purpose also, an entrepreneur needs money. Then develop product. Entrepreneur needs money to develop, to add certain values, to develop, to make his product, to convert his idea into real product. Then entrepreneur needs money to keep man and machine at work. Definitely what he needs. How he'll start the business. For starting the business, who will actually do the work? It's the manpower who will actually do the work. Then what is the other reason business needs money? The business needs money for creating value. This money encourages the management to do more development of the business and create value in the business. And here create value means to solve more and more problems of the people. Then we say encourage the then entrepreneur needs money to expand, diversify and improve and grow. Expand means to increase the production, grow means to increase the sales, and then we can say diversify. Let's say earlier I was doing shoes business. With shoes business I started doing some clothes business also. Started doing some other different kind of business is diversification. Then an entrepreneur needs money to be enough to meet unexpected, unplanned expenses. The future is uncertain. Any kind of expense can be there. Any kind of uncertain expense can be there. So entrepreneur needs money to cover up all these expenses. For this term, my students have made a short form which they call as PAM-D-KEEB. I'll write down the term now. The term which my students have created is PAM-D-KEEB. Just learn this term, PAM-D-KEEB. P for promote or establish the business, A for acquire the fixed assets, M for make market investigation, D for develop product, K for keep man and machine at work, E for encourage management to add value, E for expand, diversify and grow, and B for be enough to meet the unexpected circumstances. Now see, there are three important factors for every business which are very much needed for the survival of business. Those are production, marketing and finance are the three important elements for a business. But out of these three, the most important element, most critical element is financing. So financing is the most critical element for the success of the business, because without business, no production, no marketing can be done. There are three questions which every entrepreneur answers related to finance. They are: how much money is needed, from where to arrange it, and when will it will be available. So here, for in case of finance, there are two sources from business can raise the finance. They are internal sources and external sources. What are the internal sources? As its name is suggesting you, internal. When an entrepreneur raises capital from his own resources, when an entrepreneur raises capital from his own resources, from his own savings, that is called as internal sources. So it's owner's own money, which is also known as equity, which is also known as owner's own savings, So in case of an entrepreneur, it is entrepreneur raises this when for the first preference of an entrepreneur is always to raise capital from his own internal sources, but it's not always possible to raise whole capital from internal sources. Then the entrepreneur looks for the external source of finance. He looks for the external source of finance. So let's talk about the external sources, as its name is suggesting you. What are external sources? When the capital or when the money is raised from the outside sources, that is called as external sources of finance. So there are four major mushrooming sources of raising external sources of finance. They are capital market, angel investor, venture capital, and specialized financial institutions. Class 12, this specialized financial institutions is not in your syllabus, it is deleted. So you are not going to do this specialized financial institution, but as it is written here, so if it asks you which are the mushrooming sources of finance, yes, you will say capital market, angel investor, venture capital, and specialized financial institutions, but you don't need to do the explanation of it. Clear? Now let's come to the first source of finance, which is capital market. Capital market. Before understanding the meaning of capital market, you need to understand two terms. One is the savers and other are the investors, or we can say one are the saving houses and other are the deficit houses. One are the surplus units, other are the deficit units. Who are the surplus unit? We people are the surplus unit, who always have sufficient money, who always have savings with them. Because whatever money we households earn, some part of the money we keep aside for the saving, and then rest of the money we spend. So we always have surplus money with us. So household are the surplus units. Who are the deficit unit? These entrepreneurs, these business houses. They are always in need of money. They want more and more money. So because they need money for economic activities. So one are the deficit houses. Who are the deficit houses? Business houses. Business houses are the deficit houses, and household are the surplus units. So what is needed now? We need someone who can transfer the resources from surplus unit to deficit unit, who can transfer the finances from surplus unit to deficit unit. This transfer of financial resources from surplus unit to deficit unit is called as financial intermediation. The transfer of resources from surplus unit to deficit unit is called financial intermediation. Now who becomes this intermediary? It is the capital market. Who plays the role of financial intermediary. How? Because capital market is a market where actually the shares are issued. The market where actually the shares are issued is the capital market. So let's say I have money with me. But one way is I can keep that money in the bank. Other way is, what if I buy some company's share? How can I buy the shares? Here capital market will help me. Through capital market I can buy the shares. So I am the surplus unit, company is the deficit unit. Through capital market, my surplus money got transferred to the company. So this is called financial intermediation. So who played the role of financial intermediary? Capital market plays the role of financial intermediary. So let's understand the concept of capital market, the meaning of capital market. Class 12, if you want to score marks, you have to learn the exact definition of capital market. You cannot eat any word here. Let's understand the meaning of capital market. It is an organized mechanism because it's work in a systematic manner, which is related with effective and smooth transfer of money or financial resources from whom to whom? From investor to entrepreneur. From investor to entrepreneur. Investor is the deficit unit, entrepreneur is the surplus unit. There are three most important why capital market is the most important source of raising the finance. Yeah, if you get the question like importance of capital market, or you get the question like significance of capital market, why, or you get the question like why capital market is the important source of raising finance. There are three reasons. One reason is capital market acts as an intermediary, which means it helps in mobilizing the resources, financial resources from surplus unit to deficit unit, not at a particular local level, at the national level scale. For example, I am sitting in, let's say, Ludhiana, and Reliance is in Mumbai. By sitting in Ludhiana, I can do investment in Reliance by buying its shares. So it helps in transferring the resources at nationwide scale. This is the first importance. Second is secure the required foreign capital and know how to promote economic growth. See, through the help of ADR, GDR, American Depository Receipts, or Global Depository Receipts, these shares can be issued at the international level. The capital market can work at the international level. So capital market act helps in getting the more and more foreign capital. Then definitely, as I told you, I am a deficit unit. I am a surplus unit. I have surplus money with me. If there is no capital market, what can I do? I can maximum keep my money in the bank. Yes or no? I can keep my money in the bank. But as being a surplus unit, if I have a capital market, then I will see, okay, there are various companies in whose shares I can do the investment and get maximum return. So I will see किस कंपनी में मैं इन्वेस्टमेंट करूं कि मुझे मैक्सिमम रिटर्न मिल जाए. Yes. So capital market also helps in effective allocation of resources, effective allocation of mobilized financial resources, so that the surplus unit should get the maximum return. So what are the three importance of capital market? One is it helps in mobilizing the resources at the nationwide scale. Second is helps in getting the foreign capital, and third is it helps in doing the effective allocation of resources. Capital market is of two types, primary market and secondary market. As its name is suggesting you, primary market. The market in which new shares are issued. The market in which new shares are issued is called primary market. And after buying the new shares, let's say I have bought the shares and now I feel like I want my money back. और मैं जिस कंपनी से शेयर्स खरीदे थे उसी के पास जाकर बोलूँ ले भाई अपने शेयर्स मुझे पैसा दे दे, वो कंपनी पता है क्या बोलेगी? यू वांट मनी फ्रॉम मी, देन वेट टिल द वाइंडिंग अप. मैंने कहा नहीं, मुझे तो पैसे अभी चाहिए. इन दैट केस देयर इज अ स्टॉक मार्केट, देयर इज सेकेंडरी मार्केट where you can buy and sell the already issued shares. So secondary market is the market where the buying and selling of old securities is done, or already issued securities is done. So first of all, our topic is primary market. Let's see what is primary market. As its name is suggesting you, primary market is a new issue market. As I told you, the market in which shares are issued for the very first time is a primary market. So you have to learn this whole definition, class 12 till this. You have to learn these three words also. Primary market is basically the market which facilitates, which means helps, which helps to transfer the resources from saver to entrepreneur, from surplus unit to deficit unit. So primary market helps in transferring the resources from surplus unit to deficit unit. For which purpose? Who need fund for what? This entrepreneur need money for either setting up new business, or for the expansion, or for the diversification. New issues are of two types. One can be, let's say a company issues new shares for the very first time, then that issue will be called as initial issue. But if a company had already issued shares in the past, but now it wants to issue more shares, it wants to raise capital by issuing more shares, then such issue is called further issue. Then we have methods of flotation. There are 4 methods of flotation: public issue, right issue, private placement, and offer to employees. First of all, let's talk about public issue. When a company raise capital by issuing shares in the market, and by issuing these shares to general public, but here the key word is, if you want to issue shares to public, what do you need to do? You need to invite them, that I am issuing these shares, come and buy my shares. That invitation is in the form of prospectus. So here the line, what is the meaning of public issue? When the company public issues, the most popular method of raising capital, learn this keyword, most popular method of raising capital. In this, the capital funds are raised directly from public through the issue of prospectus. Generally, if a person has just registered his company and issued the shares in the market, then it becomes directly a public company. But sometimes it is generally, when people start the business, they start as private company, and after being private company, when they issue shares to public, then it becomes a public company. Okay, so after issuing public issue, a company becomes a public company only. Another name for public issue is going public. Here comes the advantages of public issue. There are two categories of advantages of public issue, advantages or benefits of public issue. First is access to capital. Access means reach, easy reach to capital. You get easy access to your capital, or you get easy reach to the capital, which means, see, the primary advantage to an entrepreneur is that he just need to issue the shares in the market, and he'll start getting the money for his business. But, and the good thing पता क्या है इसमें, सबसे अच्छी बात क्या है, that it's not the loan I am taking, क्योंकि जब लोन लेते हैं, loan is to be repaid, on loan we have to pay the interest. But in case of public issue, no loan, no money is to be repaid, no interest to be given. तो फिर फायदा क्या जिन्होंने शेयर खरीदे हैं? Their benefit is that they will get the appreciation of their investment, or in the form of dividend. अगर 100 का शेयर खरीदा, कंपनी जैसे जैसे प्रॉफिट कमाएगी वो 1000 का हो जाएगा. Then by selling that share for 1000, you can earn the money. This is called appreciation of investment. And companies also share part of their profit with the people. Companies also share part of their profit with the public. So that is their dividend. Now this money raised through public issue can be used for following purposes. It can be for growth and expansion, for retiring means for repaying the existing debts, or for the development of the business, or for acquiring, or as an acquisition capital. So here you can make a term. My students have made this term grad, GRAD. G for growth and expansion, R for retiring the debt, then A for acquisition capital, and D for development. Now here comes the other advantages. What are the other advantages of public issue? One is mergers and acquisition. Once you have gone public, then it is very easy for you to grow your business by acquiring other businesses also, because when the acquisition takes place, then it is generally, the payment is done either in the form of cash or the stock swap. As I've already issued shares in the market, so it's easy for me to acquire other businesses. Then higher valuation. A company whose shares are issued in the market will be valued definitely higher than the company whose shares are not issued in the market. So public company has higher valuation than private company. Benchmark trading price. So the trading price of public company stock serve as the benchmarks for other securities which are issued in the market. Then capital formation. It's a very easy way for the company to raise capital. Okay. So even the capital is raised for the investors also. Anytime investors want to sell their shares in the market, they can go and get converted into cash. Then if the company has issued shares in the market, it can give it in the form of stock option also to its employees. अपने employees को stock option या shares offer कर सकती है company. Reduced business requirement. So definitely an IPO reduces the requirement of a business to it gets less dependent on its earnings, because now the business has got enough of the money from the outside sources. Less dilution. There is less dilution of ownership as compared to IPO also. Liquidity. A public company provides more liquidity. Why? Because to the management and shareholders in comparison to private company, because in private company there are 200 shareholders, and if any of the shareholder want to transfer his shares to somebody, he has to take the permission from the rest of the members. But in case of public company, any entrepreneur can issue any management persons, any stakeholder want to sell his shares in the market can easily do. So it provides them more liquidity. Prestige, definitely it's a matter of prestige for the companies. Here my students have made this term which is called Hiral BCPL. Hiral BCPL, where H means higher valuation, I means incentives, and we have R, reduced business requirement, and then we have this acquisition, A for acquisition, less dilution, B for benchmark trading price, C for capital formation, P for prestige, L for liquidity. You can also learn this term Hiral BCPL. With one word you can find all the points. Next are the drawbacks. What are the drawbacks of public issue? You know, there are certain limitations of public issue. The first limitation is when I have issued the shares to public, it means I have taken money from public. Now I become answerable to public that how and when how I'm using their money. So a public issue increases the accountability to the shareholder whose money I have taken in the form of by issuing the shares. Next is the need to maintain the dividend and profit growth trend. Class 12, let's say I have issued the shares in the market, people bought my shares. Now what people will get after buying my shares? They will get the part of my profit, that is called dividend. Let's say next year I got the profit, but I decided I'll invest whole the profit. I will not give it in the form of dividend to my shareholders. What kind of outlook by shareholders will get? The company is not earning any money. That is why company is not giving us dividend. So what will they do? They will start selling your shares. If your investors will start selling your shares, the prices of your shares will come down. So what to do? Companies have to maintain the dividend ratio. So it is another drawback. Whether you have money or not, you know, sometimes companies take the loan also to maintain this dividend, so that their shareholders should stay in the market with their shares. Next is they are more vulnerable to unwelcome takeover. Anybody can buy you. For example, 2 years back, this Elon Musk bought Twitter, and now Twitter has now taken the name of X. Twitter never wanted to sell itself. So what Elon Musk did, he bought all the shares of Twitter. He bought the share, or not all, he bought majority of the shares of Twitter from the market. So Twitter was never ready for this takeover, but he had to bow down for this unwelcome takeover because his shares were already in the market. Next is they have to observe strictly to the rules and regulations created by governing body, that is SEBI. If you don't follow the rules and regulations created by SEBI, you will be penalized very badly. So this is another drawback which they face. Then increased cost. There is a high level of reporting requirements. Class 12, they have to there are many formalities which they have to fulfill when they go for the public issue. You lose your control. Relinquishing the control means you lose the control because you actually shared your control with the public. Then suffering the loss of privacy because you are under the eye of media, continuously under the eye of media. Media will see, okay, शेयर का प्राइस ऊपर चला गया, CNBC वगैरह देखते हो ना, न्यूज़ 18 देखते हो, ये क्या करते हैं? They just keep a close eye on all the companies which have issued their shares to the general public. So you lose your own privacy when you issue shares to the general public. So here is the term which is bi-norous. For this we have two I's are there, so we can say I square. For bi-norous, for B we have becoming vulnerable to unwelcome takeover, I for increasing the accountability, N for need to maintain the dividend. As I told you, there are two I for increasing the higher level of reporting, R for you lose some control, and S for suffering the loss of privacy. So you can learn this term bi-norous for easy recapitulation. Next, after public issue, next three methods of flotation are, second is right issue. Listen it very carefully. I'll tell you the key word which can help you to identify the concept very easily. Under right issue, when a company issues shares to its existing shareholders. Let's take a small example. I have already issued a very small example I'm telling you. Let's say I have already issued 500 shares in the market. I have 500 shareholders. Now these 500 shareholders are getting the part of the profit. What if I decide to issue more shares? लेट्स से कि मैंने डिसाइड करा कि मैं नए शेयर इशू करने वाली हूँ, तो ये 500 शेयर होल्डर मेरे पास आ गए, कहते मैडम वी विल नॉट अलाउ यू टू इशू मोर शेयर्स. आई सेड व्हाई? They said, madam, if you will issue more shares na, then our profit margin will reduce, because earlier the profit was getting divided into only 500 persons, but now this profit will get divided into more than 500. हमारा margin कम हो जाएगा. I said, okay, no problem. That's good, but I need the money. Okay, I will not issue these shares to general public. I issue these shares to you. You take these shares. So the shares will be issued to these shareholders because of their right. That's why it is called right issue. So what we'll say, the shares, when the shares are, new shares are issued to existing shareholders. When the capital is raised by issuing shares to existing shareholders, it is called right issue. But on what basis these shares are issued? These shares are issued on pro rata basis. What is pro rata? Pro rata means the proportion in which you already have the shares. Let's say you earlier had one share, so you will be issued one more share. So 100 is to 100, 200 is to 200. So in proportion to the already existing shares, new shares are issued. This is called right issue. So let's make the definition. The two keywords are existing shareholders. When the shares are issued to existing shareholders at when the shares are issued to existing shareholders at pro rata basis, on pro rata basis, that is called as right issue. Okay, what is the benefit of going for the right issue? The benefit is that this method is very very inexpensive. पता है क्यों? कोई ब्रोकर नहीं हायर करना, कोई प्रोस्पेक्टस नहीं इशू करना, कोई एजेंट नहीं हायर करना, नथिंग इज टू बी डन, फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. ऑलरेडी बंदे मेरे को जानते ही थे, दे वर माई ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग शेयर होल्डर्स. आई जस्ट नीड टू इशू शेयर्स टू देम. So it's a very inexpensive method as it does not require any broker, agent, underwriter or prospectus or any enlistment. Then we have private placement. In case of private placement, these shares are issued to not the public, not to existing shareholders, but to few investors. Let's say I as a person, let's say my name is ABC. I as a person ABC decides to sell my shares in the market. मुझे कोई नहीं जानता, nobody knows me. क्यों कोई आकर मेरे shares खरीदेगा, है ना? तो फिर मैं क्या करूँ? How can I raise the capital? In that case, there are few persons, there are few investors who always have surplus money with them. Because of the type of business they are doing, they have surplus money with them, so you can go and park your shares with them, and they will be more than happy to park their money with you if your business idea, if your business is really good. What is the example of such kind of persons who are ready to invest the money? Unit Trust of India, Life Insurance Corporation, General Insurance Corporation, Army Group or Insurance. So insurance companies keep on taking the premium. Let's say they have taken the premium from 100 persons, but it is not necessarily the loss will occur to all the 100 persons. Any one will face the loss, so they will be paying the compensation to only one person. So till the time the money of remaining 99 is surplus with them, so they invest that money in the form of in such kind of companies. So what is private placement? When the shares or securities are issued to limited number of sophisticated investor, class 12, this is the key word, sophisticated investors, then it is your private placement. What is the benefit? Here I am not issuing the shares to general public. When I am not issuing the shares to general public, then I don't need to share any information with them also. Fine, so I can maintain full confidentiality. So we don't need to disclose any information in the open market. Last, third is offer to employees. What is offer to employees? Here the company issues shares to its employees. The shares are issued to its employees, that is called as offer to employees. What is the benefit? You know, सबसे ज़्यादा फायदा तो इसी का है. First benefit is higher efficiency. Who are the shareholders? Shareholders are the owners of the business. So when you will issue these shares to the employees, employees will get the feeling of owners of the business. Employees will get the feeling of owners of the business. So they know this will increase their efficiency, because they know if they will work harder, they will get more money. If they will work harder, the company will earn more money. If company will earn more money, they will get more profit. so which will increase their efficiency. Low labor turnover. What is the meaning of labor turnover? The rate at which old employees leave and new employees join is called labor turnover. In case of this due to offer to employees have already got the feeling of ownership. They will not leave your organization, so there will be less labor turnover. Best industrial location means I will always prefer to work in such type of company where employees are given the status of ownership. So this kind of industry business is always better industrially located. Flotation cost. What is the meaning of flotation cost? The cost of issuing shares in the market is called flotation cost. Here I am not issuing the shares to market, so definitely there is less flotation cost, and I can raise more amount of funds. So learn all these benefits offered to employees. After often to employees, next type of market is secondary market. Although secondary market is not in your syllabus, but what you have to learn is only the meaning. You should know the meaning and concept of secondary market, because from last 3-4 years, every year in sample paper CBSE giving one question of secondary market. So we can expect, any year we can expect one question from secondary market, but the question is generally for 1 mark only, where it is just checking the understanding whether kids have the knowledge where to apply the secondary market concept or not. So as I told you, when the share already new shares are issued in primary market, but we need some but what if people who have the shares, they want to sell it off? They can go to the secondary market and sell these shares. So secondary market is the market where the buying and selling of existing shares is buying and selling of already issued shares is done in secondary market. Okay, and this topic of features is not in your syllabus. These all topics are not in your syllabus. Class 12 sorry, ये नहीं है हमारे पास. So directly nothing is this. Directly come to the topic of angel investors. SEBI वगैरह कुछ नहीं है बेटा हमारे सिलेबस में. We are talking about 2025 exam, 25-26 exams. No? So ये नहीं है हमारे पास. Next topic is angel investors. Who are angel investors? They are the angels. They are basically the persons who are actually doing their own business. अपना कोई बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, एंड साइड बाय साइड डूइंग द बिजनेस दे हैव द एक्सपर्टीज एंड नॉलेज एंड मनी ऑल्सो. सो वेन एवर दे फाइंड एनी न्यू आइडिया ऑन द वे, दे डू इन्वेस्टमेंट इन दैट बिजनेस. That person is called as angel investor. So business angel or informal investors or an angel investor, who are they? They are the affluent individuals who provide capital for what? For business startup and for early stage companies having a high risk, high return metrics. और बदले में क्या लेते हैं ये? In return, either they take ownership equity or they take convertible debt. Convertible debt means आज मैं आपके business में today I'll do funding in your business. I'll do funding of 10 crore in your business, but this 10 crore will be a debt to you. But in future, if I feel like your company is doing very well, then I can get this debt converted into equity. That is called convertible debt. So who are angel investors? Class 12, you have to learn this definition as it is only बच्चे. They are the individuals, affluent individuals who provide capital किसको? टू बिजनेस स्टार्टअप और अर्ली स्टेज कंपनीज. क्या देखकर? जिनके पास बड़ा हाई रिस्क, जिसमें रिस्क भी ज़्यादा हो, रिटर्न भी ज़्यादा हो, लेकिन बदले में क्या लेंगे? इन रिटर्न और इन एक्सचेंज फॉर कन्वर्टिबल डेट और ओनरशिप इक्विटी. So let's come to the features of angel investors. The very first feature for angel investor is they are current or retired executives. They are current or retired executives and or business owners or high net worth individuals. They are ये ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि जैसे कि आपके ये अनुपम मित्तल और ये जो शार्क टैंक पे अर्जुन ग्रोवर ये बैठे हैं, दे आर दी करंट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स. और रतन टाटा जैसे जो थे वो इन्वेस्टमेंट करते थे, दे आर दी रिटायर्ड इंडिविजुअल्स. सो बट they are the ones who have expertise, knowledge and funds through which they can help the new startups to match with the industry standard. So first feature of angel investor is they are retired or current affluent individuals with large amount of money, knowledge and expertise which they provide to startups, to meet the industry standards. Next we have is second feature of angel investor is that these angel investors bear very high risk. You know what kind of risk? What if the business during the if the business falls into losses, then the generally angel investors invest money in those businesses in which nobody else has invested the money. These entrepreneurs invest money in those businesses in which nobody else has invested the money. So they are the ones who are taking the high amount of risk. Because of this high amount of risk, these entrepreneurs, because of this high amount of risk, these angel investors expect high amount of return also. These angel investors expect high amount of return. This is the second feature. Third feature is they not only do the investment, other than investment, they also provide proactive advice, guidance and industry connection and mentoring startup in early days. You would have seen many episodes of Shark Tank where people come and say, these sharks, we want to connect with you because you have good industry connection. So these angel investors not only provide you the funding, but they also provide you industry connections. Then the objective of angel investors. The objective of these angel investors is that they help in creating the value in the business. They help them growing and expanding the business, due to which which not only helps them in getting more return on their money, but it helps all the investors in getting return on their money. High return on investment. Then last is angel investors have the sharp inclination of staying ahead then in the market, in the current development, and because of which they mentors the another set of generation also. Okay, they keep on mentoring the another set of generation. Let's give a quick revision to features of angel investor. First is they are current or retired individuals who have knowledge, expertise and funds. Second is they bear high amount of risk. Then third is they not only do investment in the form of funding, but they also provide the proactive advice and knowledge. Fourth is their objective is to create the value which can help all other investors also to get good return on investment. Last is they mentor the young entrepreneurs with their vast experience. This is a very, very important topic. Class 12, expect one of this type of question in your exam. Then next is venture capital. Last topic of this chapter is venture capital. Who are venture capital? Venture capital is basically are firms who invest money in the startups, startups and growth oriented small to medium scale businesses. But first of all, how to identify whether the question is about angel investor or venture capital? Venture capital are generally the firms, and angel investors, as we have seen in the definition also, affluent individuals. So if your case study is about individual, then it's a angel investor. But if your case study is about a firm whose work is to do investment in other people's business only, then that is venture capital firm. So venture capital is a equity based firm which can be venture capital is a equity based investment in a growth oriented small to medium business which enable investors to achieve objectives in return for minority shareholder in the business or irrevocable right to acquire. Irrevocable right to acquire matlab agar we will not be able to get the money, then we may acquire your business. So they are venture capital. What are the features of venture capital? These are basically equity finance. They don't give you the loan. They generally do the investment by taking the ownership. Okay, by one hand they do the investment, by other hand they take some part of ownership. Second is they do long term investment. Generally their investment is for the period of 3 to 5 years. ये देखते भी हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट करने से पहले कि क्या ये बिजनेस मुझे 3 साल के अंदर अंदर प्रॉफिट दे देगा. अगर ये मेरे को 3 साल के अंदर मैं यहाँ से निकल सकता हूँ, then they will do the investment. But if they feel like that this business's idea is good, but it will take minimum 10 years to be established, they will not do the investment. So they look for a long-term investment, generally for the period of 3 to 5 years, but in which kind of companies? The companies like small and medium firms. Large-scale firms don't need venture capital. No? Then we have venture capital not only provide capital, but they also provide the skill. Then they also involve high risk, high return spectrum. It is a subset of private equity. Private equity means it is part of my owner. Let's say I am the owner of the business and I come to you, you are the venture capital. what I'll give you in return of your money, I'll give you the part of my equity, my ownership. So it is a subset of private equity which I'll give to the venture capital. So venture capital is a subset of private equity. They basically have continuous involvement in business. they ऐसा नहीं होता, मतलब once they agree to give you the money ना, one of the member of venture capital sit in your board of directors, and then they have continuous involvement in your business as being a board of director. And then last is they disinvest the holding either to the promoters or in the firm. मतलब जब ये disinvest करते हैं, investment मतलब पैसा लगाना, disinvestment मतलब पैसा निकालना. When they decide to sell your shares in the market, at that time they first of all they offer those shares to the promoter only. Let's say कि आप venture capital हो, मैं आप कंपनी, मैंने मेरे कंपनी की ओनरशिप है मेरे पास, and you decide to sell my shares. तो first of all you will offer those shares to me. That do you want to have your shares? अगर मैं मना कर दूंगी, then you will sell those shares in the market. Okay, either to the promoter or to the market. So let's give a quick revision to venture capital features. They do equity financing only. They are long-term investment. They in small and medium businesses. They provide not only capital but skill. They believe in high risk, high return spectrum. They are the subset of private equity. They have continuous involvement in the business, and they disinvest either to the promoter or in the market. Next, come to the question, when to seek venture capital finance. A very, very, very important topic. From last 3 years, this is a question which CBSE is continuously giving in board exams for 5 marks. From last 3 years, continuously this question is there. So it's a very important question. So let's see. Here we'll study what are the stages when an entrepreneur can seek for, when or why an entrepreneur can seek for finance. और इसी में हम पढ़ेंगे कि what are the factors a venture capitalist see before investing money in an entrepreneur's business. Investment करने से पहले वो क्या देखता है आपके business में. First stage is, there are 2 stages. One is early stage financing and other is last stage financing. Early stage financing and last stage financing. Early stage financing has 3 subparts, but last stage does not have any subpart. Okay, so let's talk about early stage financing. In early stage financing, first of all we have seed capital. As its name is suggesting you, seed capital. Like I just got the idea, but before implementing the idea, what do we need to do? We need to do the environment scanning. We need to see the idea. We need to conduct the research that whether this idea will be useful or not, whether people will actually come to buy the product or not, whether that idea is feasible or not. So for doing all these things, what you need? You need money. So here at seeding stage, this whole is called pre-commercialization stage. Commercialization means when your product is sold in the market, that's commercialization. Pre-commercialization पहले, selling से पहले मुझे बहुत सारे काम करने हैं, उसके लिए जो पैसा चाहिए, that is called seeding stage. So seed capital finance refers to the capital required by an entrepreneur for what? For conducting research at what? At pre-commercialization stage. Here the entrepreneur has to convince the VC that his idea is really good, and with this money entrepreneur will also conduct the feasibility of his idea. Now what can VC see? What are VC see before doing investment? VC sees that whether the entrepreneur's ability, technical skills and competency, क्या क्या ये चाहिए और क्या उस entrepreneur में ये entrepreneurial ability और technical skills हैं या नहीं है. अगर हैं तो VC says okay, I'm ready to do investment in your business. After seed capital, next is startup finance. अब मान लीजिए अब मेरा जो आइडिया है वो मार्केट में अप्रूव हो गया. My idea got the acceptance in the market. Now my thing is that now I will prepare the prototype. At this stage we prepare the prototype or we make the product, and then the main word here is the entrepreneur makes the business plan. He makes the business plan and present that business plan to VC firm. And if VC firm gets satisfied, gets convinced with your idea, then one person of the VC firm will sit in your board of directors. So here the keywords are, once the idea is qualified for further investigation, the process will go to second stage, which is called startup stage. The second stage is called startup stage, and here the business plan is presented to VC. VC make one of his persons sit in the board of directors. Done. And here also what VC see, while being part of director, the VCC monitors the feasibility of the product and capability of the management team from the board of directors for further investment. Next we have is the second round financing. Under second round financing, it is basically related with selling. It is basically related with that we assume that product is made and sold in the market. Product is made and sold in the market at second round फाइनेंसिंग. प्रोडक्ट बन चुका है, बिक चुका है मार्केट में, तो अब क्यों चाहिए पैसे? नाउ वी नीड मनी टू एक्सपैंड एंड ग्रो आवर बिजनेस. Now we need money to expand and grow our business. So at this stage, idea is transformed into product, produced and sold. So here we need money the entrepreneur need money to expand, modernize and diversify his business. Here the entrepreneur needs larger amount of funds than all other earlier stages. So what VC sees here, the VC sees that because his team is able to provide the capability of standing against the competition, only then the VC will be putting in the next amount of funding. तो VC क्या देखेगा, क्या आप में इतनी कैपेबिलिटी है कि आप मार्केट कॉम्पिटिशन में को झेल सको. अगर उसको लगेगा आप झेल सकते हो, तभी VC आपके बिजनेस में आगे इन्वेस्टमेंट करेगा. Then last stage, as I told you, there are two stages. One is your early stage, other is your last stage. So these were the three parts of early stage. Next is the last stage. In last stage financing we have, इसे लास्ट स्टेज भी कहा जाता है, प्री पब्लिक फाइनेंस स्टेज भी कहा जाता है. यहाँ पर पता है वीसी मुझे क्या चाहना है, मेरा बिजनेस बन चुका है, चल चुका है, अब मैंने सोचा कि अब मेरे को पैसे चाहिए, आई नीड मोर मनी एंड नाउ आई डिसाइड टू सेल माई शेयर्स इन द मार्केट. एंड क्लास 12, issuing of shares in the market requires a huge amount of money. And so now VC goes to this entrepreneur goes to this VC for the last time कि भाई VC मेरे को इस बार पैसे दे दे. वो कहता क्या करेगा? वो कहता मैं इस बार बस शेयर्स इशू करूँगा. आई नीड मनी जस्ट टू इशू शेयर्स इन द मार्केट. Once I will issue the shares, then I will start getting money from the public. Then I don't need you. That's why this is called last stage financing. और यहाँ पर VC entrepreneur takes the money from the VC to cover the flotation cost. That's why it is called bridge financing also. And it is done before issuing the shares, before actually going public. So this stage is called pre-public stage also. Got it? So this is the last stage financing. After that, last topic is entrepreneurs to watch out. Entrepreneurs have to be very careful before going to these VCs, because these VCs select only one idea out of 400. तो करना क्या है, अगर आप तो जनरली हम क्या कहते हैं कि एंटरप्रेन्योर को वीसी के पास जाने से पहले शुड प्रिपेयर a no disclosure form, that and get that no disclosure form signed from the VC, that you will not disclose my idea, my information to anybody. But VCs don't sign it. कोई VC नहीं साइन करता है इसको. Then what entrepreneur should do? Entrepreneur should take the patent or should take the intellectual property right for his product before actually going to VC, so that if VC discloses his idea to anybody, he should be in the safe position because his idea is already patented. So this is what is something entrepreneurs should watch out. If you have any comments, you want to understand any topic again, write down in the comment section. I'll re-explain it to you. Thank you for joining. You can get the notes in the description box.